welcome back. This is Tampa Home Talk. We'll try to keep things sounding good for you here, even though the acoustics are pretty awesome. It's still a big space with a few people popping in to check it out. How could they not? Right, so we're here at Red Door number 5, Florida Avenue and Palm.
Yay, you got it.
There you go.
You nailed it.
You can't miss the bright red door if you're driving down Florida Avenue. Just look for that. If you're taking 275, it's pretty much just a little bit north of that, right before the 275 bend. And we'll be hanging out here till probably, I would say, close to 11. This place is pretty cool. And we can get kind of chatty, especially with Mr. Deerdorf here in the studio.
Good day, good day.
And it's a firehouse. Like, I don't think we're going to get him to leave.
I'm nerding out.
I can't get, like, last hour you said that now modern firehouses are 3 times the size of this. Mm-hmm. This is a pretty big building.
It really is. And when you look at it, well, you think right now where we're sitting, and I love how you were talking about how there's people coming in and out. The energy in here is just great. Mm-hmm. I hope it's translating for everybody driving to work today. It's a great energy. But the fact that we're sitting...
This is a really fun remote broadcast for us, I'm just saying. Like,
it is!
It was
I'm nerding out.
Set up.
I'm totally nerding out. Because you just imagine, back then, horse-drawn carriages, the first fire trucks sitting where we're sitting right now. We're sitting in the bay. This is... where they stored the trucks and they came in and out right here, going out on the Florida Avenue.
It's crazy you say that, but literally in the early 1900s, there were horse-drawn carriages going down the street, not cars. That's pretty surreal when you say that.
Now try to get a horse to back in. You can't do it. But the history here and the fact that he maintained a lot of this history, and then the fact that he lives here. Just the commitment to that and the passion to living in the space that you're making available to the public, I think is amazing.
It really is it's cool. And like I was telling Kristen, I had the privilege of actually being able to check it out. I thought, like at the time, Dom wasn't even inviting anyone into this place. He was just like making it his own. So I feel like just really privileged that he's like, all right, it's not ready, but like come check it out. I don't think there was any appliances or like any of that was here.
None of
He was literally still like setting up, but it was so cool just to see so many things that he was finishing and all the projects he was still in the middle of. I mean, it's been fascinating to watch this place progress.
So if I wanted to rent this place for an event, how far out am I looking for bookings?
I guess during the week has more space, right?
Of course.
Right. So we are booking fast, but we have so much availability. I mean, with a 10-hour window, that's what you get for your rental time. That's load in, load out, and event time. Between 10 hour to 10 hour, we can book something every day. So at this rate, I mean, we do have a lot of availability at the moment, and we're trying to get, it all booked up.
There are a lot of people that canceled for COVID.
Right.
People are just now getting their shots and just now starting to reschedule things.
Yeah, and if you wanted to book, I mean, as soon as next week, we can still do it. We'll make it possible. We'll work with you, and we'll get you in.
I just want to make sure Tuesday, October 5th is still available.
Let me check that date now.
That is
Tuesday, October 5th.
Do we have that on the calendar, Mimi? She'll firm that up, and we'll get that date nailed down since we're talking about it, so that we're not blowing random dates on the air. People showing up. Oh, yeah, we're here.
Right.
For a Tampa Home Talk Radio party. So what do you think, Reg? She's hanging. Our favorite Aussie is hanging in the studio with us, too. You got to tour this place before we started on air.
Yeah, actually, it's spectacular. I was just saying, who do I know that should be using this place? And there's a lot. So it is...
I think you should talk to Kevin and Roy at AIU Payroll. And
Kevin's actually listening. I ain't dubbing him in for nothing. I get in trouble because I say, hey! And they always say, calm down, Reg. Roy always says, I said, Roy, I'll come up with this idea. He said, let's finish the first one, So I have to pull my head in. However, Kevin, I think you should load up the posse and just come on down here and check out the space. He would love it. Now, the thing is, I do know that there was no Christmas party last year. So, Christmas in July, this looks like a nice place,
We all had to cancel everything last year.
I know. It was a little bit like that. If people live in the area and they haven't been here, they should. Can people just walk in and say, hey, can we have a look around? We're looking at this event.
Most definitely. I mean, I'm here during the week. Dom's here during the weekend. I am here occasionally during the weekend if there is an event. If we have passerbys, you are welcome to come in and just knock on the door, try to get my attention, and I will give you a tour.
the nice thing about this place is I was just saying that, I did a walk around and then I went back through it again and I'm like, holy cow, I didn't see that before. There's so many little things, and majority of the stuff he's also made or added to and enhanced, we like to say.
Everything, I think, has been enhanced or touched by Rustic Seal in some way. Majority of stuff here.
It's amazing. Yes. And then I'm going, what is this piece of concrete doing? He goes, oh, that's a Berlin Wall, Reg. And I'm like, oh.
It sounds so much better when she says it. We say the Berlin Wall. She's like, that's the Berlin Wall.
Yeah. Well, and then he
just
goes,
hanging out in the living room.
I know. Isn't that amazing, Corey? It's just like, oh, yeah. Yeah. And so if he finds, we were talking and saying that there were 70 pieces that he has, we're going to leave with 69 and meet up once a year with all our broken pieces and have a party. But if you haven't been here, you need to come here. He's a great guy. What he does, the artistry is amazing. I'm one of these people that go into a place and go, oh, I like that. I have no concept of imagination of how it can come together. So to walk in here, I would never think, to see that actually really fits well with that. Like these little clear plastic Cinderella chairs.
He had 70 pieces before he invited Tampa Home Talk, and now he's going to have one less.
That's it.
Don't you like
I thought
that?
the wall was thicker. I look at the two pieces of the wall I can see right here, and I always thought the wall was actually thicker. It doesn't look more than like 4 inches thick.
Have you ever inspected anything like this, Leo?
The wall? The Berlin Wall?
No, a place like this.
We've inspected historic buildings before. I mean, this one's been renovated. It's really well done. But I mean, we got the structural beams here. We've got the open ceiling there.
He hasn't pointed out any defects yet. I'm really surprised.
Yeah, but keep your eyes down, mate. Eyes down. We want to come back here. Okay, Leo?
I like it.
We like it. Calm down.
Yeah, I'm not here to find defects. This isn't like open house at 3932 Carrera Court where I'm asked to find defects on the break.
Random people will be driving by someone's home that we did a remote broadcast at.
Like 3 years ago. But come check us out. Red Door number 5.
Taylor's on the phone.
Yes.
We are Red Door number 5, corner of Palm Avenue and North Florida Avenue in Tampa Heights.
Do you want to hear something funny? This morning I said to my mum, right, Grandma, she's a little bit deaf and old and 70 pounds soaking wet. And she goes, where are you going? I said, I'm going to Red Door number 5. And she goes, I like that perfume. So there you go. It's amazing.
That's right, I forgot it actually is a perfume too.
She goes, I like that perfume. And I go, bless your heart, Mum. That's what Southerners say, isn't it? Bless your heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she gave me a crack in the chops.
Yeah, your mom, I think, would have even been impressed with this place.
My mum would love it. She would, she's nearly as old as the building. That's when she went in a biplane last week. I put her in a biplane last week. I said, come on, Grandma, we're going to go for a ride. We found this place, I have a biplane. She jumps in, it's 1942, she was 1932, and they're going, aren't you afraid she's going to die? And I'm like, she's going to be happy, she's 88. She wants a chocolate, she wants a beer, she wants to go in a biplane, she gets it.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool, she would love it.
So was this place what you expected, Corey? How much did Mimi actually tell you before you got here?
0, as usual. No, but
I just had an address. I didn't even get a name. I just pull up. I'm like, oh, this is a commercial space.
No, it's totally true. But no, just walking around, it's great. And I haven't had the opportunity to see upstairs. I'd love to see what they did with the bunk rooms and everything. And I think that's probably the space that was right above us, just knowing fire station design. We're in the bay, and then the poles coming down, that's to kind of help cut out the stairs.
We're going to have to go do a tour to see what a bunk room looks like, because I have like this blank canvas in my mind when you say that.
Yeah.
And I had no idea what it was supposed to look like before it looks like the way it looks like now.
Well, I'm assuming just knowing, I love old fire stations, know the history of the fire service and how it became what it is and where we're going is very important. But I'm assuming it was probably just a large open room like we're sitting in with several different really probably the metal beds laying there. There's probably not much. I mean, there's not a whole lot of frills when you're talking about that, but...
A question. So where did the history of the whole pole come about?
So you're shaving seconds. So when you're trying to get out the door, you're always trying to get out as fast as you can. And modern times, we try to get out the door within 60 seconds during the day and 90 seconds at night.
So how much longer does it take to go down the stairs as opposed to slide down the pole?
You may save yourself 10, 15 seconds, which when you're talking about saving lives could be the difference between saving someone's life with maybe CPR or something like that.
Do they still have these poles in current stations?
They do, but they're super expensive to add. In fact, we looked at one of our new stations that's getting ready to go into groundbreaking on the 10th. It was almost $30,000 just to add one of the poles because of all the safety features that you have to have these days.
Can I volunteer myself to attend that grand opening?
Absolutely.
Fire station, men, poles. I mean,
So this is Tampa Home
Love
Talk.
it.
We're going to roll to a break here in just a moment, and when we come back, we're going to be with Taylor Harding. She is with Human Interest, and I bet you want to know what that's all about, and we're going to tell you right after the break. Stick around. This is Tampa Home Talk.
Welcome home, Tampa Home Talk. We're here at Red Door number 5, corner of Florida Avenue and Palm Avenue here in luxurious Tampa Heights. We have Taylor Harding on the phone from Human Interest. How you doing, Taylor?
Oh, did she leave us already?
Did she leave us?
Yep, I'm here.
Oh, there you are. You are missing a
I'm here.
treat. Calling in. You totally should have been here. So much fun.
I know, I'm so sorry. I will totally be at the next one.
So let's talk a little bit about Human Interest, because I didn't tell our listeners before the break who you are and what you do.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So Human Interest is a fully bundled and integrated 401k provider for small to medium-sized businesses. My favorite way to explain Human Interest is to tell our story, because I think it really tells a lot about our company. So our founders were originally 2 tech guys based out of San Francisco, and they wanted to open their own 401k plan. What they found was they couldn't find anything affordable or easy to use, so what did they do? They used their tech background to create their own platform. So Human Interest is really here to change the game in the retirement crisis that we're facing today. We want to change the mindset of these small business owners who think they are too small or that they can't afford a 401k.
How does it work? Like, how much does it cost to set this up? Is it expensive? Is there a initial cost to the small business owner?
Yeah, great question. So the cost is extremely affordable, especially compared to some of the other providers out there. So our cost is super transparent. You can find it right on our website. It's $150 per month and then $6 per employee. And then where we really come in, we come in on top compared to our competitors is that what we charge for the record keeping fee. So your average 401k provider is going to charge almost 2%. That's the national average. We are only charging 0.5% on the assets. So as your assets grow, you're going to be saving a lot of money, because paying 2% on the assets can become very costly.
So what are some other different types of 401ks?
Yes. So there are different types of 401ks. You can do a Roth. We also offer 403B plans, which is going to be for those nonprofits.
Okay. And what are some of the benefits to the employers that are actually setting up the 401k plans?
Yeah, absolutely. So there is a ton of benefits for the employer. One of the biggest ones, of course, is building that tax shelter for the business, right? So you're able to redirect those tax dollars and essentially put that money back in your own pockets by lowering your taxable income and putting that money back in your own pockets instead of Uncle Sam. So I would say the tax shelter is probably one of the biggest benefits. Another benefit is that there are so many tax credits that are available to these business owners, and they're not even aware that they exist. So just by offering a retirement plan, you are eligible for up to $16,500 in tax credits for the first 3 years of offering your retirement plan. That is, through the IRS, through something called the Secure Act. And a lot of business owners just aren't aware that that exists. And then lastly, I will say, of course, one of the biggest benefits is being able to attract top talent and then retaining your employees as well.
So why do you think most small businesses don't offer the 401k?
Yeah, so like I said, I think that we're in this retirement crisis where we're finding that a lot of people are not saving for the future. A lot of people keep putting it off. And we truly believe the problem is that these small business owners, they have the mindset that they're too small or that they can't afford a 401k. And the reason why they have this mindset is because, with the providers that are out there, it kind of holds some truth. So that's why human interest is here to really change the game when it comes to retirement, because we are offering these plans that are affordable for all, small business owners to offer.
So, when they're looking at 401k plans and, the people are evaluating them and the businesses are evaluating what company they should utilize, right, to set up the 401k, what are some of the things they should be looking at? What kind of questions should they be asking?
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's a great question. So I always tell clients to ask, one of the most important questions that you need to ask is, what are the transaction fees on the plan? When you're meeting with a provider, a lot of people are not going to go over the ins and outs of what's on the plan, the hidden fees. So you need to make sure you're asking them. So ask them, what are the transaction fees on the plan? Is there any fees for taking distribution? So let me tell you a quick story about this one. I know a lot of providers are charging around $75 to $100 every time someone takes a distribution from the plan. So what that means is when you're retired someday, and let's say you're taking your kids out, your grandkids out to lunch, right? You are going to essentially be paying more money to take that money out. You're going to be paying like $100 for that distribution, which is going to be more than the lunch cost probably. So I always recommend to ask, what are the distribution fees? Are there any loan fees? And then another big one is, are there any termination fees? A lot of providers sneak this one in, and they will not tell you if you don't ask. I know some, providers are charging over $1,500 in termination fees. Mm-hmm. So you definitely have to be asking these questions.
So what do you think, Leo? Are you offering your people a 401k?
I'm glad we have you on. I have a question. So we have a 401k, and I can't get enough employees to contribute to it, so I can't contribute to it as a business owner.
Wait, say more about that.
So why don't you explain how business owners get themselves into this situation, and then how we get ourselves out of it?
Yeah, absolutely. So, and that is a huge problem that we are facing, is that these business owners, they're offering their retirement plan, right? And then they're finding that employees, aren't taking advantage of it. And there's a few reasons for that. One of the biggest reasons actually comes down to the technology. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if you guys have ever tried to roll over a 401k, or if you went through the platform with some of these other providers, but it can get so confusing that you're just banging your head against the wall, and you're like, you know what, I'm just going to put this off, and you end up not even participating. So that's something that I really love about Human Interest, is that we are a part tech company, so our technology is truly amazing. The national average of employee participation in the country is around 32%. And human interest average in the employees participating is around 76%, so almost double the national average, and we really believe it's because of our technology.
So what are the challenges you're having, Leo?
Some of it's confusing platforms, some of it's the enrollment process. Everyone gets hired, and then they have to wait 6 months before they're into this new program, and then some of them don't. Some of them think they're living paycheck to paycheck, so even if the company's offering them free money for saving money, they just...
So you're offering a match?
Yeah, we offer I would say most. Mm-hmm. From my understanding, most 401k employers do a match of some sort. Is that accurate?
Yes.
So how does it work for you? Like if you have 20 employees and you have one owner and you want to do a match, how does that affect the owner?
Well, if not enough employees contribute to the 401k, then the owner's contributions to the 401k are actually refunded, and it's counted as income.
Ooh, that's not exactly what we had in mind.
How many do you have to have as a minimum, Taylor?
It's just a percentage of the amount of money they're contributing.
No, I'm talking about how many enrollees do you have to have before you can make it an active plan, Taylor, with Human Interest.
So it shows it as minimal as one, right?
Yeah, I thought.
As small as one?
Yep. Exactly.
As small as one. So talk about some of your, like, what you're seeing as far as like when someone changes from a 401k provider to you guys. What's their percentage of participation compared to once you guys get involved? And let's face it, even if they are living paycheck to paycheck and they say, I'm going to start with 1%, right? I don't know how much your guys' paychecks are, Leo, but just give me a rough example of what 1% might be, because I don't know if it's biweekly or weekly or...
Well, we pay our people once every other week. So
what does a rough paycheck look like? Just give me any number.
I don't know. We have positions. We have low-level entry positions.
So give me a low-level entry position. Okay, so let's say it is.
Let's just use the minimum wage.
$1,500 bucks.
Let's just use minimum wage. They'll say it's a $15 an hour position.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's $32,000 a year.
Okay.
1% of that's $320
a month.
No, a year.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, yeah.
And don't forget it's gross. You know what it comes down to?
$300 a year, you can't get someone to save. What's the math on that really quick? What is that, $20 a paycheck maybe?
Well, you have to divide that by 26. So, yeah, it's a little over $100 a paycheck.
And you can't get someone to contribute $100 a paycheck?
Pretty much to get money matched, free money matched. It's crazy.
This is why our country is going to have an issue with, not having enough money to retire, especially the match. It's free money. Why would you not take that? You're going to be eating cat food. Let's not do that, people. All right, this is Tampa Home Talk. We'll be back in a minute.
Well, good morning, welcome home, welcome back. We're here at Red Door number 5, corner of Florida Ave and Palm Avenue in Tampa Heights. Come check us out. We've got bagels, we've got donuts, we've got fruit, we've got coffee, we've got more fruit.
We'll be live on the air until 10 o'clock, and if you don't want to come more on the air, come in 10. You can meet us more off the air.
And we'll even make some avocado smash because we have a bowl of avocados. Is avocado a fruit or a vegetable?
It is technically a fruit. Right?
It's got a big pit in the middle, so it grows on a tree.
That's right.
Then why is it in the vegetable section?
It's a good question, because it's green, and people equate green to vegetables. That would be my guess. Is that wrong? Is this trivia, or is it?
I'm just asking.
Is there a dad joke hidden in here somewhere?
No, there's no dad joke.
Oh, come on.
Sorry.
It's Friday.
All right, give your dad joke on the air.
I'm good. You want me to?
Yes.
So, So, do you know what the average cost of a chimney is now going at? Because we're talking rising cost of construction. So you know what the average price of a chimney is to add it to your house?
It's got to be a lot.
No, it's free.
But the pole's 30
on the
grand.
house.
The pole's 30 grand, so
Yeah, we should get a pool for 30 grand.
Didn't you say 30? The pole, P-O-L-E?
Yep, the
I think
pool.
I said pool.
Buy a pole.
To get a pool in this fire
You
station.
can get a hole in the ground for $30,000.
Yeah.
But you still have to put some stuff in there to make it a mud pit.
Yeah, it's a mud pit. Speaking of which, Ren Fair.
Yes, Ren Fair.
We
We still have tickets, I think,
still have
Amy,
tickets
for
to give away.
Renaissance
We still have
Festival.
tickets to give away. Let's do the off-air number, which we have not mentioned at all.
Yes, call or text 813-377-2775. If you want Renaissance Festival tickets, if you want information on Red Door number 5, or if you're listening about the 401k and you want to know how to get some more employee interest, we have got the connection for you.
813-377-2775. We'll
Make it easier on your employees.
first 2 people to text the number will get some Ren Fair tickets.
Yes, last weekend. This is the last weekend for the Renaissance
And it was a
Festival.
lot of fun. I went a couple of weeks ago. New location. Have to check it out. It's completely laid out differently. I think they've done a great job mixing up the vendors, shuffling them. We have tightrope walkers now. We used to not have that at the Ren Fair.
Did you see the Wheel of Death guy?
Oh, I love that guy.
He was on Tampa Home Talk last week. He was our pre-record.
Really?
Yes.
I love that guy. He's hilarious.
Ichabod is his stage
Yeah.
name, and we know his real name. So if I go up to him and I call him by name, I say,
I was there for the pre-record.
It was actually, we zoomed.
Yeah. But yeah, he's exciting. He's been doing that show at the Ren Fair for at least a decade.
You have to go back and listen to it because I was surprised by some of the stuff he said.
Oh, he's highly intelligent. I've talked to him quite at length at the Ren Fair.
Yeah. He is, and he was also talking about how people will just yell like obscene, like terrible things to him.
What?
Like wanting him to like fall off and die. I'm like, what?
He plays into
Thank
it,
you,
though. It's part of his show.
right?
He fake stumbles, and he plays into the humor, though.
Yeah, he does. I've seen him before. He built that himself.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So it's pretty. Anyway, can't wait to
But
go. check
the
him out.
Red Fair, I mean, it's a little bit smaller than in previous years.
Wait, it's smaller? Don't they have more space?
They have the availability for more space. The actual footprint, like, there's only 2 bars as opposed to 6.
Why?
So,
That's unacceptable.
but it's smaller.
They're busy though.
What happened? How did it get smaller?
Well, it was kind of, I was talking with the Mud Show people, because we know we
I
had them
love
on
that
last
show.
year, and they have a brand new show.
Oh, really?
Brand new show.
I want 2 tickets, I think. I'm text.
So basically what happened was they didn't know they were going to have the Ren Fair or not. It was kind of
We
put
had them
together
right
last
before
minute.
COVID, remember?
We did.
It was right before.
It was so they kind of put this one together last minute, so they didn't get all the vendors they normally get.
Got it.
That's kind of why it's a little bit smaller this year.
I
But
feel
there's still
like-
a lot to do.
I feel like literally we had them and then the world closed the next week.
Pretty much.
Because I remember they came in their garb and they got dirty in the bathroom and
Yeah, we had that. Well, Ren Fair started in February. We had them in like end of February because I always go opening weekend, and then 2 weeks later it all shut down.
yeah. So did you get to go or no last year?
Last year I went pre-COVID.
Okay.
Because I always go for the opening weekend, which is usually the Highland Games, because I like watching the strongmen competition. You know, men and women throwing telephone poles is always exciting to me.
I went, it wasn't last year, the year before. I went with Pat and Amy and Kim was there. We had quite a few people that went.
Yeah, but I like what they've done. It's spacious, it's laid out, lots of good shows, many new acts, and the existing acts all kind of redid their material during COVID, so it's exciting, it's fresh. Gotta love something that's fresh and new that you're comfortable with.
So, Taylor, I know we don't want to just keep you hanging. What advice do you have for somebody on the 401k plan? What advice do you have for employers looking to get more employee participation, which ultimately is going to help them in the end long term?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would recommend anyone who does not have anything in place right now, I would highly recommend that they at least, take a consultation, look into it, see what tax credits are available, see how it can benefit the business, and then when it comes to the employee participation, something that Human Interest does that's a little bit more unique to some of the other providers is we do a really good job on educating the employees. So if you go through our platform, it's almost like an educational piece. It'll explain, what it means to participate in a 401k, exactly how much you should be how much you should be contributing to your plan based on your age. So we'll take that into factor. It'll actually go through some questions with you to make sure that you're participating the right amount. So we do a really good job on the education piece and educating employees and making sure that they really understand the benefits of putting away for the future.
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. I mean, I mentioned it off air, but in my book I talk about, you should be saving 15% of your income towards wealth building and or retirement. I love real estate, so I'm a little heavy on that side, but I prefer what I know. I can't control the stock market. I can control a lot more things that happen in the real estate realm. So, I did a little differently than I thought I would, but nonetheless, real estate is my love language, if you will.
There you go.
The nice thing about Taylor is that we actually went through this process, and it was probably, for me, how you have those books for dummies. She was my 401k for dummy translator, so it was very, very good. Even though my boss knows what he's talking about and what he's doing, for me, I learned so much and how easy it was to use. So I would highly recommend. So Leah, I'm giving her your number.
Okay.
Done.
Yeah, we'll get you guys connected. And if you're listening, you've got a 401k plan or you want to offer a 401k plan for your employees, highly recommend you call or text to just get some info. We'll get you connected with Taylor. It's 813-377-2775. You can call or text Taylor or 401k, and we'll get you guys connected. 813-377-2775. One last time, Leo.
813-377-2775. 7.5.
Literally, you almost got to roll out of bed in your jammies, right?
Oh yeah, like this is this is 2-minute drive here. This was awesome.
He's like, yeah, we could move it here permanently every week.
If I knew about the breakfast, I wouldn't have eaten my breakfast in my car on the way over.
Yeah.
You were
Actually,
getting the sandwich right as you're pulling in the spot.
Dominic was so great. He had almost all of this set up for us when he came in. Like the muffins, the bagels, the coffee. Dominic,
No, I understand the
Mimi brought
coffee,
the
but
donuts.
the bottle of tequila, that's what I want to know. It's next to the blender.
Let's just celebrate after this.
So basically you take the avocados, throw them in the blender, add some salt, and then you take your shot of tequila.
That's it.
You got
Can you
this all
imagine
cleaned out. I was just
making
listening.
breakfast in this kitchen every morning?
Oh, I know. I have a feeling Dominic does what he did this morning every day, and that's get ready, hurry up, and run to rustic seal.
Yeah, down the pole.
Yeah, fly down the pole, run to rustic seal. So I think it's one of those things you live here and it's awesome, but he's probably got to go to work to pay for it. So
Oh yeah,
But I'm surprised more of your fire buddies didn't come with you.
they're busy. It's brush fire season.
It is.
Please don't
We're having
burn
a
stuff in your
massive
yard.
drought.
Yeah, please don't burn stuff in your yard.
Can you burn it in the fire pit?
Don't burn stuff in the
Don't
yard.
burn anything.
It's a poor choice. We're not under a burn ban, but we had last week in Wesley Chapel, we had a family who decided to burn in their backyard, and it took their backyard, almost their brand new wooden back porch, and part of their neighbor's fence, and ran in between houses. And it is windy, it is dry, the humidity is low. It is not a good
It's
time.
like California grade
Are
weather right now.
Are they going to ban fireworks this year for 4th of July, you think?
We're hoping right now, all the meteorologists are indicating within the next couple of weeks we're supposed to start getting some of that afternoon rain, which is a blessing and a curse all at the same time, because that lightning can actually spark brush fires. But we're hoping to get through and not have any major incidents. But yeah, it's make sure the weirdest things like chains dragging on a trailer start brush fires.
What?
Yeah,
Yep,
it
the
creates
sparks.
Yeah, but I never would have imagined.
Yep. So
Doesn't take much. I mean, Smokey the Bear, it doesn't take much to start a forest fire.
That's it.
Yes.
That's it. And right now, it would run so fast you would be very surprised at how quickly it got to being a big thing.
Yeah, we're supposed to be in the rainy season, but the Bermuda High, which is located just off the coast of Florida, it has to shift to the east and a little bit north, and that brings the rainy season in because of the way the Gulf Stream works. And that hasn't happened yet.
Do you do, in Australia we always did have a session where we do the little burns, so we get all of the shrub off. Do you guys do that here? We didn't do it last year, hence why half of Australia went up in smoke.
Yeah.
Got to save that money.
Controlled burn, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you do that?
Absolutely. The Florida Forest Service does that a lot. Swift Mud does that some. Environmental Lands in Pasco does it as well. And what that is they're trying to burn out those little small fuels to where, one, it makes the forest healthier. You shouldn't have these dense brush where you can't see through. It should be a nice canopy where you can see through, you can see the wildlife. In fact, before we got here and put all these buildings up and stopped, Florida would naturally, the entire state would burn about every 7 years.
Wow.
And from lightning strikes and stuff like that. So naturally, it's supposed to happen. So we try to control it as much as we can in the seasons to where right now we're not going to. It would be the conditions are way too bad. But we try to get as much as we can to prevent those big fires. And then if we do have a fire, we try to put a ringer on it and let it burn out, because it won't burn again.
Yes.
So we try to control it as much as we can this time of year. But we've had fires. Hillsborough County started to see more fires. Pinellas had a fire yesterday.
So you guys don't get to sleep on the job.
Oh no. Yeah, it's the days of sleeping on the job are way over.
Didn't you say we're like lightning capital, lightning strike?
The word Tampa means lightning. It's Native American for the word lightning, and we are the lightning capital of the world, and we are the lightning are the world champions. So
How about it?
yeah,
Last night was a
right
little
on
rough,
track.
though. Last night was a little rough.
But you have to think, like, the fire is natural and fire is cleansing. There are certain trees that they rely on fire to help their seeds fall and germinate. Because the fire has to eat the shell, and that's because the shell's eaten, and the seeds know, or the trees know through evolution, that they could grow because all the surrounding brush has been burned. So fire is very important for our ecosystem.
Yes, so do you guys voluntarily do the controlled burns, or?
Yeah, they have a schedule, so they
Okay.
go through every year, and actually
We'll be right back after the break.
Okay.
He actually did fool us.
Welcome back.
got
Pat
us.
George, gotcha.
we got.
It always.
So you missed the bet, Pat. You played it off the air, and now you don't want to play it on the air. What's up with that?
What?
Well, we're dragging you straight under, so come on.
He's acting like he didn't just get us, is
I
what
know.
it is.
So Pat George loves, so those of you that have been listening for a while, you may or may not know, because I've talked about this, and I've definitely talked about it off air, how much Pat George loves to play pranks. I was just talking to Mike Fudge, a guy that Pat knows, about this, how like from the first week I was in the Beasley Media Studio, Pat George started pulling pranks on me. and I was like, I'd heard him on the air. I grew up in Tampa, and I was like, oh, I hope this guy's not a jerk. And it turns out he's one of my best friends. I mean, I talk to him every week. So, well, I didn't believe him. So, but he did get us for he made us think that we were on air, and we didn't.
During the break.
He's a silly duffer, huh?
So, Adam totally bailed out on our insurance segment. I was hoping to get him to bounce off of you a little bit. Who's a good match for AIU, Reg, since we have you in the studio here?
So in terms of all insurance underwriters, anybody that has a commercial business, whether it be...
Because you partner with people like Adam, right?
Yeah, so any agency. So the nice thing about us is that people come to us via their agents, so they don't lose that relationship. We want to strike a relationship with them. And we offer, all the standard lines of commercial insurance. But we also have some special areas like for firearms, equine, hospital, in terms of professional and non-professional health.
Hard to do stuff if you had some workman comp claims.
Yeah, that's correct. And we have the PEO, the professional employment side of house. So for us, it's a really nice niche. And the nice thing is that we are a family business.
Yes.
And we are local. So, but we are also national on that scale. So yeah, any agency, any person that you have that looks after your insurance, you get them to give us a call. And I know that you'll put our number up on there.
Yes.
Which will be that, correct?
Yep. So, if you just call or text us, we'll get you connected.
Yeah, that'd be
with
great.
them. That's probably the best way. Yes, you'll get to talk to the Aussie chick yourself.
Yeah, part of my role is the business development. So I actually talk to all new agencies and help with onboarding. So we love that.
So 813-377-2775. That's our off-air number. If you're an insurance company and you're looking to get connected, or maybe you need to bring some of that insurance costs down, great connection for you. So 813-377-2775. And my watch died almost died. I thought it did die. We're in a remote location. I'm like, I have no idea what the time looks like.
9:52.
We're not in a studio with a clock, so you're going to have to keep us in check there.
9:53.
Got it.
We have 3 minutes
Adam
left.
bugged out early, didn't he?
No, he didn't. He bugged out on time. He always sticks around for just the 1 hour.
But I thought for sure he would hang out longer.
I was coming. I'm the draw card, Leo.
Especially being so close to
I
work.
thought it was because he was so close. Well, I think he's in Brandon.
Oh, yeah,
He lives
that's
in
right.
Channel Side.
That's right.
Yeah, so we're basically
close
just
to
on the way to
home.
work.
Well, it's no different than him just like hanging out a little longer.
But he didn't give his 2-minute tip of the week.
He did not.
And if we're as dry as we're currently dry, and we're as hot as we're currently hot, we should have a vicious hurricane season this year.
You've been saying that all along.
Come on, Leo.
I've been.
Do you think Leo's in the name stormed list this year?
What's the first?
Stand by.
Stand
Currently
It's a
looking
repeating
this information up
It's a repeating 6-year list. And
until one gets knocked off the list, like
and
Katrina.
they alternate every year. Not only is it a 6-year repeating named list, it's a boy-girl switch as well year to year.
I'll never forget the year I saw Katrina on the list. I think it was on for a year before, and then it rolled to like the next year, and then it was like a rapid fire hurricane year, and I'm like, oh look, Katrina's on the list. That one's going to be a doozy. I remember telling my grandfather that, and then here Katrina rolled out, and then literally the storm was forming. Like the name storm was actually a name storm, and then it kept growing and growing
We don't
and
get
growing.
it, Leo. Australia stole it.
They did.
I was just going to say, go Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. Can I just say to you, I had a look at this Rustic Steel website.
Yes.
Phenomenal. This is amazing. what he does here, the owner of the Red Door.
They can build like anything out of steel. They've had so many like recycled
I need a kangaroo.
things. Yeah, oh yeah, he can definitely make you a kangaroo for sure. A lot of the stuff in here that you see in Red Door number 5 was, an influence of Dominic.
Well, I heard he can make like a chia kangaroo. It'll be a light aluminum frame. You'll slather it in mud. You'll slather it in seed, and you'll water it, and then it'll turn into a 20,000-pound kangaroo.
I love it. Did you? The octopus.
Yeah, that was the octopus. Make a kangaroo.
Super heavy kangaroo.
Yeah, it's really light at start.
I kill plants. I can't do that. It's just going to be pretty and shiny.
Well, water multiplies weight to everything. That's what it was.
That's my problem.
I think we'll have him make you a chia kangaroo, and you won't kill it.
Can I have it one this big so I can just take it around and inside? That's your job, Leo. Get me one like that, all right?
Katrina's the one with the connection. We wouldn't be sitting here today without Katrina's connection.
I know. I love this place.
Just because I go up and talk to strangers, you gotta love it, right?
Hey,
Only if this was here before, I probably would walk by and knock on the door. Hey, what is this? Can I come in?
The person that is bragging she talks to strangers is also the author of a book of why you shouldn't do cold calling.
Yeah, well,
No, but she starts relationships.
But that's the point. Like, even if it was a cold call, I could call Dom and ask him for anything. I'm sure of it. Mm-hmm. Like, he would say, okay. Like, if I called him at 2 in the morning and said, hey, I'm in jail, can you come get me? He probably would. Yeah, maybe would be my first call, but I'm just saying, like, he's that kind of guy. Like, flat tire on the side of the road, hey, can you escape rustic steel for 5 minutes and come help me out?
I can't believe he's got
that call. Plan on getting that call from me this weekend.
Oh, which part?
Who are you calling? Amy, Reg, or
You can call me. I'll come and get you. Don't you worry about that, Mr. Pat. Our love's real.
Oh, he's like, yeah, you let me know. He'll be broken down.
Man, if I get to call the Kangaroo Queen, I'm definitely going.
Kangaroo Queen. My name means queen. That's how you shall address me from now on, Mr. Leo.
Figure out how to give you a 12-foot aluminum framed kangaroo.
I just want a little one, like a bonsai size one, mate.
No, you need a giant one. Yeah. This is why you can't keep plants alive. You're not giving it the environment it needs.
Negative. You're setting me up for failure, mate.
She's like, I am not listening to you and any of your nonsense. I love these dead jokes.
What's safer, a small 2-foot kangaroo that's a plant, or a 12-foot kangaroo that's heavily watered and producing carbon?
Look how you sold that bit.
I'm going to say it's Friday, and I'm not getting in the middle of this.
Yeah, good idea.
So, do we have any fire station dad jokes?
Oh, I don't know. No, not really.
You can't say it on air.
Firefighting is not a laughing matter.
Well, there are firefighters that are dads, I'm sitting next to one of them.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? When's that new place opening? I'm putting it in my calendar right now.
Oh, the one that has the public poll to use?
This opening party is going to get way out of control. I can already feel it. I love it. All right, this is Tampa Home Talk. We have had way too much fun broadcasting here from Red Door number 5 with you guys.
Corner of Palm and Florida.
Yes, it is by Metropolitan Ministries. Amazing place, super friendly. Come knock on the door. Kristen will let you in and give you a great little tour of the place. Don't miss it. Coming up, got a networking thing Thursday, January 27th, or next week, the 27th, 4 to 10 p.m. And I think we're going to have to pop in and make this party a little fun. Welcome home. We'll be back next week.
Good day.